The last time Lonzo Ball stepped onto an NBA court was January 14th, 2022, in a matchup against the Golden State Warriors. Shortly after, the Chicago Bulls announced that Lonzo would miss 6 to 8 weeks following surgery on his left knee, a seemingly routine procedure. But weeks turned into months, and months turned into a nightmare. Setback after setback, Lonzo's knee issues became an unrelenting obstacle. The hope of a return faded with each update, until even the Bulls began to question if his career might be over. Sports media certainly thought so, and were already talking about his demise. Then, seemingly out of nowhere, reports began to surface. Lonzo Ball was preparing for a comeback. After more than 1,000 days away from the game, the possibility of his return felt almost miraculous. In this video, we'll dive deep into the details of this incredible journey. From a once promising prospect whose career was nearly derailed by multiple knee injuries to the determination it took to return to the court, Lonzo Ball entered the 2017 NBA Draft as one of the most hyped prospects in recent memory. The buzz around him was electric, and for good reason. Lonzo had all the tools to be a game-changing point guard: elite size at 6'6", court vision, and high basketball IQ. In his lone season at UCLA, Lonzo Ball showcased why he was one of the most electrifying prospects in college basketball. He led the Bruins to an impressive run, reaching the Sweet 16 of the NCAA tournament. However, their journey ended in a high-stakes showdown against fellow freshman star De'Aaron Fox and the Kentucky Wildcats. Lonzo Ball's unselfish style of play was reminiscent of Lakers legend Magic Johnson. His court vision, basketball IQ, and ability to elevate teammates made it easy to see why Magic was so captivated by his game. You could call it admiration or belief, but it bordered on delusion. Magic saw it as too good of a Hollywood story to pass up. It has to work out because it's a perfect story, because it's Hollywood. On paper, the fit seemed perfect. A California native with a flair for playmaking, Lonzo was pegged as the heir to the Showtime Lakers' legacy, a new era of excitement and dominance led by a homegrown talent. Of course, it didn't hurt, or maybe it did, that his father, LeVar Ball, was just as famous for his outrageous claims as Lonzo was for his skills. Remember when LeVar said Lonzo was better than Steph Curry? Yeah, those comments added fuel to an already blazing fire. The Lakers were so confident in his potential that they drafted him second overall, passing on future stars like Jason Tatum, De'Aaron Fox, and Donovan Mitchell. With all the hype coming into his rookie season also came high expectations, and Lonzo had a huge target on his back. Lonzo Ball's rookie season was a roller coaster of highs and lows. While he showed flashes of brilliance on the court, dropping triple-doubles, injuries to his knee and shoulder cut his campaign short, limiting him to just 52 games. Unfortunately, his struggles with injuries didn't stop there. In his second season, his injury troubles lingered. Lonzo underwent arthroscopic surgery on his left knee to repair a torn meniscus, his first of several surgeries, which would become a recurring theme in his career. And as we'll explore later in this video, that was just the beginning of his battle to stay healthy. Lonzo's sophomore season saw his numbers dip slightly, partly due to the arrival of LeBron James and Rajon Rondo, which shifted his role on the team. Despite the adjustment, Lonzo still managed to showcase his potential. In a notable moment, he recorded a triple-double alongside LeBron James, marking the first time Lakers teammates achieved the feat together since the legendary Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Magic Johnson during the Showtime era. Much like his rookie season, Lonzo's sophomore year was cut short, this time by a grade 3 ankle sprain. Early reports suggested he would miss just 4 to 6 weeks. However, the Lakers ultimately decided to shut him down for the remainder of the season. Little did anyone know that the game against Houston would mark the end of Lonzo's time in a Lakers jersey. On July 6, 2019, the Los Angeles Lakers made a blockbuster trade, sending Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart, the draft rights to DeAndre Hunter, and future draft picks to the New Orleans Pelicans in exchange for Anthony Davis. For Lonzo, this trade marked a fresh start and an opportunity to refine his game. One of his biggest adjustments was reworking his unconventional jump shot, a process he credits to his shooting coach in New Orleans.
I'm working out, I'm shooting around, he's rebounding for me. I'm doing what I always do. About 3-4 days goes by and he's like, yo, like, we about to change this. I'm like, season about to start. Like, what you mean about to change it? He's like, I'm gonna be here. I'm like, all right. Like, if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it. So I just remember shooting. Man, he used to bring his son back at night all the time. He would be in there running around. But I respect him so much just because, you know, people have families, bro, at the end of the day. And for you to give me that time, you know, no extra charge or nothing like that, you just come in there to help me out, like, so that means a lot to me.
The results were undeniable. Lonzo's three-point shooting percentage jumped from 32% in his sophomore season to over 37% during his time with the Pelicans. This improvement not only made him a more reliable shooter, but also unlocked other facets of his game. He improved his scoring output, averaging a career-high 14 points per game in his second season with New Orleans. Perhaps most importantly, Lonzo found some stability in his health. Over 2 seasons with the Pelicans, he played 63 and 55 games, a stark improvement from his injury-plagued years in Los Angeles. Despite his progress, New Orleans made the surprising decision not to extend him. With the offense shifting to revolve around Point Zion, the team saw Lonzo as expendable, given his injury history and the new direction of their roster. On August 8, 2021, Lonzo was traded to the Chicago Bulls in a 3-team deal involving the Charlotte Hornets, officially turning the page to the next chapter of his career. Lonzo Ball proved to be a seamless fit with the Chicago Bulls. Teaming up with fellow defensive specialist and former Laker Alex Caruso, the duo became a nightmare for opposing backcourts. Their relentless energy and defensive prowess played a huge role in Chicago's red-hot start to the 2021-2022 season, catapulting them to the top of the Eastern Conference standings as the league's feel-good story. Lonzo also elevated his offensive game, shooting a career-best 42% from beyond the arc. His improved shooting and playmaking complemented the Bulls' high-octane offense perfectly. But just as it seemed everything was falling into place, disaster struck. Lonzo suffered another knee injury, playing his final game of the season against the Golden State Warriors. On January 20th, 2022, after missing 3 games, the Chicago Bulls announced that Lonzo Ball would undergo arthroscopic surgery to repair a small meniscus tear in his left knee. The initial recovery timeline was set at 6 to 8 weeks, a minor setback for what had been a promising season. But what was supposed to be a short recovery turned into a grueling odyssey. Despite his relentless efforts in rehab, Lonzo was plagued by constant knee pain that made a return to the court impossible. His absence was deeply felt by the Bulls, who struggled without their floor general. They stumbled to a 19-23 finish for the rest of the season, eventually sliding to the 6th seed in the Eastern Conference, losing to the Milwaukee Bucks in the first round. On September 21st, 2022, the Chicago Bulls announced that Lonzo Ball had undergone yet another surgery on his injured left knee, this time an arthroscopic debridement procedure. The plan was to reevaluate his condition in 4 to 6 weeks. But hope quickly faded. Despite the surgery, Lonzo continued to experience persistent pain, even after taking an additional 10 days off. Every attempt to ramp up ended the same way, with frustration and disappointment. Lonzo openly shared the harsh reality of his condition.
I literally, I really can't run, so can't run or jump. So there's like a range from like 30 to 60 degrees when my knee is bent that I have like no force and I can't catch myself. So until I can do those things, I can't play. So
the situation was dire. Even media personalities began to question whether Lonzo's career was over and who could blame them. The outlook was bleak. Ultimately, Lonzo Ball was shut down for the entire 2022-23 season, marking yet another year lost in his quest for answers to the persistent discomfort in his left knee. On March 16, 2023, the Bulls announced that Lonzo would undergo a cartilage transplant surgery on his left knee and be out indefinitely. The procedure, Ball later explained, involved him receiving a new meniscus from a donor. Bulls coach Billy Donovan said, "I do know that Lonzo, just based on the information he was able to gather from different sets of doctors, was making the decision that he felt like this was the best chance to be able to get him back on the court. We all understand that that is going to be an uphill battle for him, but I know he's going to do everything possible in his rehab to get himself back on the court." It turned out that the persistent pain in Lonzo's knee stemmed from a shocking revelation. He had no meniscus left after tearing it several times. The condition had deteriorated to the point of bone-on-bone contact, leaving a cartilage and meniscus transplant as his last-ditch effort to salvage his NBA career.
The process behind it, we know you got multiple procedures. Tell us what happened, where you are, and where you're going.
To make a long story short, ultimately, it started with the meniscus tear. Basically started in the Lakers when I tore it the first time. Tore it a couple more times to a point to where there was no more meniscus left and bone on bone was rubbing. So the cartilage was gone and the bone was messed up. So I had to get new meniscus from a donor. I had to get a bone allograft and I had to get some cartilage put in as well. All that, healed up and now I'm back on the court.
But what caused the injury in the first place? According to Lonzo, the culprit might have been the Big Baller brand shoes he wore early in his career. On June 23, 2023, the Chicago Bulls announced that Lonzo Ball would miss the entire 2023-24 season. Everything is going well. Going into the offseason, I think our expectation is that he's not coming back next season and he's going to continue on his recovery. If he comes back, it would be great, but we're just going to treat this offseason and getting ready for the season that he's not going to be back. On August 22nd, 2023, Lonzo Ball posted this video in response to Stephen A. Smith questioning his sources.
Stephen A., who are your sources, bro? Please tell me who your sources are. Come on, man. Come on, man. You gotta stop yapping. And I actually like you, man. I don't even know you like that, but I like you. I'm coming back, man. Come on.
On March 9th, 2024, Bill Donovan told reporters Ball had begun cutting, jumping, and sprinting in controlled non-contact situations. Videos of Lonzo Ball playing 5-on-5 recently surfaced on social media, offering a glimpse of his progress and reigniting hope among fans. On August 7th, 2024, the Bulls confirmed Lonzo had started playing in full-contact 5-on-5 scrimmages. More than a month later, on September 30th, 2024, Karnisovas was asked by the Bulls media whether Ball would be ready for opening night this season. "That's the plan," Chicago's executive vice president of basketball operations responded. Then, on October 17th, 2024, Lonzo Ball made his long-awaited return to the court.
This to the crowd. Checking in for the Chicago Bulls, number 2, Lonzo Ball.
Stepping onto the hardwood for the first time in 3 years during a preseason matchup against the Minnesota Timberwolves. In just 15 minutes of action, Lonzo scored 10 points, a modest stat line, but a monumental moment. It wasn't just about the numbers, it was about resilience, determination, and a triumphant step forward after years of uncertainty. For Lonzo and his fans, it was a night to remember. Lonzo Ball's journey is reminiscent of another inspiring NBA story, that of Shaun Livingston. Livingston's career was nearly cut short by a devastating leg injury that left many doubting he'd ever play again. But through sheer determination and unwavering resilience, he defied the odds, worked his way back, and not only returned to the court, but also became an NBA champion.